Hey folks, on this episode, I'm going to be taking you on a journey to Colorado. Right now, we're in Sebastian, Florida. Well, Vero Beach, Florida, sorry. And we're flying out to Atlanta, going to catch a connecting flight to Colorado, where I'll be installing a clutch in a 2010 Nissan Xterra. It's a V6 4.0 four-wheel drive, so that ought to be interesting. Once I've installed the new clutch in the truck, we're going to put a trailer on it, load a motorcycle onto the trailer, and I'm going to drive it all the way from Colorado back here to Vero Beach, Florida. So that's the mission. I got to go meet the crew at 8:45 just down the street. It's 8:27 now, so just tidying up a little bit, making some preparations, and we're off to the airport. All right, we've made it to the Melbourne airport. A couple hours early, but better early than late, right? Now I'm looking at sand sculptures in the airport here. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Rockets, planets. Nice stuff. Over here they got a astronaut. Yeah. All right. Guess I'm gonna go wait at the gate for the plane. Okay, got through security. We're on the other side. That's what we gotta go through. All gates. So we're in gate 1. I'm on my way. Got a sweet little tiki bar here at the Melbourne airport. That's cool. Now I'm in Denver, Colorado. Heading towards the baggage claim. We gotta take the baggage claim tram here. So we'll be getting on that in about 25 seconds. This is a busy pickup location out here. You got islands. That's island 4. We're on island 5. Waiting for our Uber. And then you got G, H, I. It's crazy out here. Oh, there's the mountains way out there. Good old Colorado mountains. There's the snow caps out there. Nice. Here I am, folks, on the job in Colorado, Berthoud, Colorado. And there's the Nissan Xterra. And check this garage out here. Not bad. Guy's got some tools. Here's one of my favorites. I think that's a 2023 Triumph Tiger 900. Pretty cool. Guy's got guns and safes. Another gun safe. My kind of guy. He's got a lift on the Xterra. And there's the clutch kit. Checked it out yesterday. Everything's in here. Throttle bearing, clutch, Flush alignment tool. Got your pilot bearing. Gonna be fun. Time to get started. Alright, we got her up on the jack stands. Now, time to see what we got going on under here. Got dogs to be barking all day. There's the other one. That'll be fun. Here's what we got. Looks like we gotta take that exhaust down. Couple bolts there. Bottom bolts ain't too bad. We gotta take this cross member down. Got a transfer case to deal with. Drive shaft. Gotta take that out. Yeah, I think this exhaust in the back needs to come off, but these catalytic converters seem like they're out of the way. Maybe not. Oh, not those. Oh, I'm probably gonna have to take both of those off. Front drive shaft, catalytic converters. Oh boy. Quite a project. Well, I got the front drive shaft off. I got the rear drive shaft off. I'm trying to get this, got that clamp off. Came off of here, the exhaust, because I wanted to take these two pieces apart from each other and just kind of roll them down out of the way. I don't know if that's going to happen. This is kind of a, from that, might be crimped in there. I don't know, it's real tight. I guess we're going to have to get into this mess. So up here, there's a heat shield where I need to get behind. I need to get to them bolts to take off this catalytic converter, and it's behind a heat shield. So now I gotta take off this tire. I gotta take off the inner fender well just to get to that heat shield to take these catalytic converters off. I got the slave cylinder off there, and hopefully I don't have to take that one off. We'll see. I already tried to take these bolts off. I've had them soaking in WD-40. I don't have anything else. Well, we'll see how that goes. Alright, now we got the fender off, or the fender liner off. The little mud flap. Had to take the wheel off, of course. And the reason I had to do that is that I have to take that heat shield off back there to get to the catalytic converter bolts. Can't really see it back in there. So catalytic converter bolts are behind that heat shield. So I gotta take that heat shield off in order to get to them. So that's why all this had to come off. Oh, it's been a rough go, man. 4-wheel drive and everything. Tough job. Especially when I don't have my own tools. I flew out here and I'm using somebody else's tools. And they don't have all the good tools that I have. So makes it twice as hard. Alright, I got the heat shield unbolted, but really no way to get this thing out here without mangling it. It's insane. see, I gotta get all that out. That is insane. I don't know how this is gonna work. Very hard. And that's what the heat shield looks like after doing the big mangle job. Had to do it. There's no other way. Not that I know of. If any of you folks watching ever tried to pull the heat shield off of a 2010 Xterra, Nissan Xterra, how do you get that out of there without doing the mangle job? Now I can get to those bolts. So there's the 2 bolts, and there's one more on the other side I got to get off. And I also got to get a starter off somewhere in there. I think we're going to deal with another heat shield down in there somewhere. I'm thinking the starter is going to be quite a project too. I think everything from here on out is going to be a disaster. Oh boy. Got to get it done though. Alright, I finally got the heat shield off of the starter motor. Now we can get to that. There it is back there. And all this stuff is in the way. Oh man. Maybe under here would be easier. Yeah, there she is. Yep, so I got those 2 bolts there. I got a bolt on the other side. That shouldn't be too hard. But then again, who knows? Alright, I got the starter out. All but these 2 connectors. Well, 1 connector here, and then I got to get a bolt off of there for the starter cable. So I got that and that to do. And then she'll be off. Let's see if we can get a look in there. There it is. Alright. Alright, I finally got the connectors off. Hopefully this will come easy. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at that baby. And she's out. Alright. Next mission. Alright, I got the right bank catalytic converter out. And that gives us the room we need here. So it goes in there. Gives us the clearance for the trans. This one's clear, so I don't need to take that out. But I did take it loose from here, so I can slide this whole thing back. As you can see, that's how far I slid it back. I just took that hanger, slid it all the way back, so I have room in here, because this trans has got to come back in here. So now I need to take off this cross member. Some bolts down here, some bolts here, bolts in here, these 2 bolts here, and same with the other side. I need to get a trans jack up under in here. I don't even know if he has one. Might have to do something crazy with a jack, I don't know. But that's where I'm at now. Alright, now I'm inside. Actually taking the shifter knob. This one just unscrews. Then these just unclip. You got them little dongers there. That just unsnaps. Same with this. Don't even need any tools really. Just a little plastic pry tool maybe. That's it. But those come out. And then you got this. So you got, I believe that's 10mm screws. And then I believe there's another little boot in there. But we're going to pull that plate up, and once we get the shifter out and expose that trans, I believe there's also a spring down in there. Once we expose the trans, we got to tape it up, put a rag in it, something, so that we don't get any screws. We don't want any screws in there. Nothing falling down in the trans. That would be bad. So we got to get that hole covered up. So I'll show you that when I'm ready. All right, now we got the second boot off. That plate there. We got one more boot right here. This is where we're gonna have to clean all this debris out. I don't want anything down in there. I don't want anything to get in the trans. So after we pull this out and the spring behind it, we're gonna have to tape it up or put a rag in it or something to protect it. So I'm gonna do that. All right, now that we got those 5 12mm bolts out, we're gonna go ahead and pull this out. Get the lighting, some better lighting going here. Oh. That's that. There's no spring like I thought there was going to be in there. Alright, so we're just going to cover that up. We don't want anything in there. I think I'll get another rag, put it in there. But that's it. And that's really all you got to do inside. And then you start working underneath again. This cross member is a very, very difficult piece to get out. It's crazy. Goes right up in here. And on the other side over there. And bolts to the trans there. And there's also a couple of places it bolts to under here. And it is a bear. Spent a little time on that one. But she's out. I got most of the trans bolts out. All of them but the top two. I'm going to try to go into... I got the trans held up by this. I got the trans jack ready. I'm going to put the trans jack in this area here. That seems about the center. I think I'm going to unbolt the mount. Yeah, get them studs out of the way and put my trans jack right across here. But that's where we're at now. I'm going to try to go in and get the top bolts. Let me show you. If I can, at all possible, I'm going to lower the trans down and see if I can't get them from in here, up in here. I doubt that's going to happen because, you know, it's a bell housing. It bells out and around, so it's probably going to end up a little more back there, but I don't know. I'm going to take a look. So if you guys are doing this kind of operation, taking the trans out of a 2010 Nissan Xterra. This is how you take the top two bolts out of the trans. I went in here with a long extension, 17mm. You go down in here and you can hit that bolt, and then you get you a 1/2 inch with a breaker bar or an impact if you can get it on there, and you take them out like that. I just got done taking the last bolt out, and that's how I got the top two out. I really don't like this headlight. Pain in the butt. And the battery sucks. But anyway, that's how you get the top two bolts off the transmission. And of course, the transmission's got to be pretty low. Let me show you how I got it. Oh no, I jacked it back up. Sorry, you missed that. But it was pretty low. The tail shaft there was about touching the exhaust, so that's how I had it. Sorry, this is kind of a rush job. I'm in Colorado, and I got to drive back to Florida, and I don't got a lot of time, and I got other jobs, so it's not like a full featured video, but I'm trying to do the best I can for you. But time sensitive right now. I got to be out of here, so I'll try to do the best I can. Day 2, and this is where we're at. Got the trans separated here. We're about to take the clutch out. That's the operation. Trans jack. And we're right at our limits there with the transfer case module. We can scoot it, but I think we got enough room. We'll just leave her there. I had to cut the exhaust. We just get a connecting pipe for that and clamp them up. But that's where we're at. Here's what that looks like in there. There's a throwout bearing. Pretty filthy in there. A lot of clutch material in there. So I got to get that throwout bearing off of there. Replace that. And replace the clutch. There's the clutch fork.
Yay!
Throwout bearing.
That bearing looks great. We can reuse that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, she's a little dirty. We'll clean her up. Alright, there's the new throwout bearing. Cleaned up the clutch fork there, and the throwout fork or whatever, and so good to go. Had to press this part into the bearing. New bearing didn't come with this piece, so had to get the whole press here. Press this piece out. Press it back into this. But there she is. Alright, we're going to try to clean all this stuff out. Pretty scummy in there, so we're just going to get a, I don't know if you can hear me over the air compressor, but we're just going to blow this out with some air. Maybe hit it with some brake fluid, brake clean. And then we'll get this guy out. Alright, I got her all blown out. Looking decent. Alright, looks pretty good in there. If anybody's done a clutch on one of these vehicles before, can you tell me if this is normal or not? A little movement there. Seems like all the clutches that I've ever done, of course they didn't have that little plate on the flywheel. It was just right on the flywheel. Didn't move at all. So I looked up all data to see if that's normal or not. I didn't read anything on it. I mean, I assume it's normal. It's kind of a separate piece from the flywheel, so they had some kind of plan, but I don't know. If any of you ever done a clutch on this before, leave something in the comments for me and let me know what that's about. Couldn't find anything in all data, so let me know. We're after the pilot bearing now, so here's the tool. That's a pilot bearing removal tool. And what happens is, here's the new pilot bearing. So we're going to go into the old pilot bearing. This goes in, this inserts into here, and then you crank this, and these little fingers come out, and it grabs it. And then once it's got it and can't come off, you tighten this down and you pull it out. So that's what we're after right now. So we got an issue. For one, is we don't got a vehicle, so we got to Uber everywhere. We got to Uber to the auto parts store. Had to Uber to get this puller, and it's not working. This is our problem. So the pilot bearing is to this line, 2.5 inches deep in there. These little dongers are only 1.5 inches. Yeah, see. So I gotta go this deep, and as you can see, the dongers, they only make it 1 inch deep, so it's not grabbing that pilot bearing. And right here, where the tool gets wider, too wide to get in deep enough to get the pilot bearing. So we're screwed on that
Nice to meet you.
on that deal. Okay, because of our circumstances, we're going to leave the old pilot bearing in there. We took a bore gauge in there, and we measured the new pilot bearing. We measured the old pilot bearing. It seemed like the new pilot bearing was actually a little wider opening. And then we mic'd we took the calipers to the shaft, and it seemed like the old pilot bearing would have been a better fit than the other one. So we're just going to leave it in. Normally we wouldn't do that, but I mean, when we mic'd it, and that was smaller, we did it a couple of times. It seemed like that was bigger. It makes sense to leave the other one in. Maybe the old one's better. But in any event, that's what we're doing. So cross your fingers, I guess. And now it's time to put in the clutch. Now this guy. For those of you that don't know, this is a clutch alignment tool. And once this whole ensemble is in, this will be this way. This will be this way. On top of this, you put this clutch alignment tool in the center there. The tip goes into the pilot bearing, and that'll align this inner clutch, because we don't want this clutch off center. Because once we tighten these bolts down, we tighten this pressure plate down, then this is going to be stuck in between the flywheel and this, and you're not going to be able to move this, so you're not going to be able to get your input shaft in there. So that's why we have the clutch alignment tool, so that everything's aligned when you tighten this down, and the transmission will bolt up and fit in nice. Forgot to mention to you that you also got to take some wheel bearing grease and just lube up inside the pilot bearing, or the throwout bearing here, and the input shaft of the transmission. And make sure you do put your throwout bearing in before you bolt up the transmission. That would be a bad mistake. All right, we're all lubed up inside there. We're all lubed up on the input shaft and where the throwout bearing slides. Time to put that in. All right, there we have it. So when you step on the clutch, boom, pushes those fingers out, releases the clutch, and you shift your gears, or just leave it neutral and coast. This goes on a little ball. Behind that arm's a little ball where it pivots. You got a pivot. It just kind of clips in there. Now to get the clutch on. All right, I'm going to clean up the surface of the pressure plate and the other side and the flywheel side. I'm going to use a little brake clean. And if this was Eric O with South Main Auto, he'd be like, bam. I love that noise. All right, we're going to clean them up. All right, the new clutch is on. And as you can see in here, hopefully you can see. I can't see. You got the clutch alignment tool in there.
What, you left the tool up in there?
Talking to the folks on YouTube.
Oh.
So as you can see, I don't got any of the bolts torqued down. They're just hand tight, a few threads. And now I'm going to do the tightening sequence with the clutch aligned and everything and tighten her down. We got our clutch disc on now. Now we're just looking up the torque specifications here. First step is go around in the particular sequence. You do it at 15 foot-pounds. And then the second time around, you do it at 25. I'll show you here. I'll go back for our sequence. So here's your sequence. And then first step, 15 foot-pounds. Second step, 25 foot-pounds. So that's what we're going to go do. Now that all of the bolts are torqued to spec, 25 foot-pounds, time to put on the trans. And here's the clutch alignment tool. Oh, dropped it. Of course. Yeah. You can see. Let's see. Goes in. Let's get you a little better shot over here. You see that goes in real nice. Nice and easy. And that's gonna be nice and lined up for that guy. So when you guys are putting these transes back in, make sure you don't bend any of them fingers. So make sure you're going in nice and straight. All right, I'm using my camera phone to line up the bolt. A little difficult when it's in my way. And there it is. That's how you do it. Reach it through there. Oh, the worst is over, folks. Here's all the parts I got to put in. Got the exhaust, the starter. Got to do a little connection deal here. And I got to go put all the interior stuff in. Let me show you where we're at. Oh, the drive shaft. We got that evil cross member out. Boy, that is a bear to get out. Not horrible getting in, but it ain't easy. So the trans is in place. I got the slave cylinder on. And she's bolted up and torqued to spec. So now to do all the I got to do all the wiring, all the connectors, starter, exhaust, and all that, drive shafts, and we'll be there. 75 foot-pounds on the transmission. $59.8 foot-pounds on the drive shaft bolts. Well, folks, here we are, day 3 in Colorado at 7:38 in the morning, and this is all we got left. We just got that fender liner in there, that heat shield, and then the interior, the shifter and the boots and all that, cup holder, front drive shaft, rear drive shaft, tire of course, and that exhaust, and that should do it. That should be a wrap for this. Cross your fingers. The exhaust is in place. Both the cats. Now here's where I had to cut it. I cut this piece down through here, and then I just bought me a little coupling piece. This had the bell end, this side went inside. So 2 clamps, good to go. Separated these 2 parts, and it was easy to have clearance for all of that. So that's done. Drive shaft in the back is in. Still got to put the front in, and then all the stuff inside, and then we'll be able to fire this thing up. See what we got. Well, that's it, folks. She's all buttoned up and ready for a test drive. Got her off the jacks, check the oil, check the clutch fluid, tighten the torque, tighten the front right wheel to specification with the torque wrench. Back on and back on the ground. That was a mission. All right, folks, that's going to be it. We did the test drive, and the Xterra is running great. Parked her out front. She's not in the garage anymore, so there's plenty of room in there for all the moving guys to do their stuff. Yeah, she ran great. Now, we're going to be off to Florida tomorrow, so we'll get you some shots then, and we'll conclude the video when we get back. I'll let you know how she ran. All right. This place is clean. Hey, Lulu. Hey, Lulu.
I'll have to put in my new garage.
Yeah, do that.
That looks like a fucking avalanche was waiting to happen.
It is. Everything's cleaned up and packed up. We're heading to Florida. There's the garage. There's where I did the clutch. All swept and clean. Tools are all gone. Nothing on the shelves. It is bare. Truck's loaded up. The Xterra's loaded up. And we are off. I believe our first stop is Kansas in Salina or wherever we're going, and that's where we're gonna have our first stop and stay tonight, and then on from there. 5:47 Mountain Time, and we're on the road. There's the big truck. We're on our way, headed east. All right, we're here in Kansas in a hotel in Colby, Kansas. We're going to be shutting down for tonight, and we'll start again in the morning. Here's the beds, and that's my bed. And that's my buddy. Well, we're in Colby, Kansas. It's 8:10 in the morning, and we're heading out again. Following the big Penske truck. Vehicle's doing just fine. No lights come on. Set that seatbelt light. I'll fix that in just a second. But all is well here. And just so you know, I am wearing my seatbelt. As you can see, the light is out. All right, time to press on. Oh, and if any of you guys noticed the crack in the windshield, don't worry about that. Kansas has a lot of cool windmills. You can see them for miles. At nighttime, they have a little red light on them, and you can see them all lighting up. They blink all at the same time. So that's a long row of windmills. Really cool. Stuff. Ah, look at that bridge. Broadway. A little bit of a traffic jam here. Going very slow. But now we're in Missouri. And traffic is mighty thick. This is the concrete jungle. Welcome to the concrete jungle. I'm coming up on my last stretch of highway here. We're back home. There's our bridge there.
In a quarter mile, use the left 2 lanes to take the ramp to Sebastian.
And there's the GPS. Been a heck of a mission, but almost there.
Use the left 2
About
lanes to
15 more
take the ramp
minutes.
to Sebastian, then use any lane to
Ended up having to repair the trailer lights. The plug came undone, but I had another one. And then I just did some heat shrink butt splices deals here. Now I'm going to tape it up. Alright, I got her all taped up. Of course, we're not going to leave her on the ground like that. We're gonna do something with that extra wire, but let's go verify the repair. Hazards. Hazards on the truck are going. That's that side. That's that side. All right. Looks like all is well here. Turn that off. Turn the lights on. Just the running lights. Good to go. Good to go. All good to go. Alright. The owner will be happy that I took care of that. Now I'm just waiting on them. They're about an hour and a half behind me or so. So once they get here, we'll go to our final destination, which is his house. And we'll wrap it up from there. All right, that's it for this episode. This is the next day. We finally wrapped it all up. The truck is empty, as you can see. Well, you can't see, doors closed, but there's my bike. There's his bike. It's finally out of the truck. I might post a few photos during the move, but we still got a few things laying out in the yard here. But there you go. Trailer's empty. The garage is about full. And there's the patient, the Xterra. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the journey. That's going to wrap it up for this. If you guys enjoyed it, like and subscribe, hit the bell and all that jazz. And you'll see more content. Maybe we'll go on another mission. See ya, folks.